Tyrannomon wasn't always just some background character that existed within the Digimon franchise. The Digimon once played a crucial role as the series' mascot, but ultimately fell from grace once a certain little yellow guy started pushing him out of the limelight and slowly caused Tyrannomon to fade into obscurity. Whatever happened to this Digimon? Where have they been? What roles did they play? What roles will they play? How important are they? These are probably questions that you, faithful viewer, have never asked before in your life, but I certainly sure have, because just look at this cool looking red dinosaur dude. Tyrannomon sure deserves some attention, so hey guys, my name is Resin Unleashed, and in this video we're going to be taking a look back at the history of Tyrannomon. Tyrannomon first debuted on the 26th of June 1997 as part of Digital Monster version 1, which were a series of virtual pet toys that were designed to be the masculine counterpart to the more feminine-orientated Tamagotchi. This Digimon appeared alongside 13 others to make up the roster for this toy and was acquired by having Agumon and having the care stats as follows: 4 or more calls, train between and including 5 to 15, overfeed at 3 or more, and 0 to 4 sleep disturbances. Tyrannomon was also one of the 3 Digimon that could digivolve into Mamemon by fighting in 15 or more battles with a win rate of 80%. At the time, there was nothing really special about any of these pixelated pets, except Tyrannomon, as he was the first out of the 14 to be designed. Because of this, it was decided that Tyrannomon would be the face of this new toy product and rapidly evolving franchise. After the success of the toy, a manga named Come On Digimon, the Capering Monster Bun, would be developed and published in the Akamaru Jump on September 28th of the same year. This one-shot manga would tell the story of 2 young boys, Abe Makoto and Kamon Kentaro, who raised creatures inside a small computer known as a dog, called Digimon, to fight others. Unfortunately for Tyrannomon, he would not get the lead role in this manga, and wouldn't even be compensated with a minor role, as the Digimon only appears at the start for a brief moment while Abe explains the concept of Digimon. Tyrannomon does get more acknowledgement than just that, as he appears as a form of the main antagonist, Deathmon, as Death Tyrannomon. But this is still only for a very brief moment of the story. He would lose the spotlight to none other than Greymon, as Greymon took the lead role of Dinosaur Digimon in this story, and this wouldn't be the first time he was cast aside. The following year, a manga titled Digimon V-Tamer would debut on November 21st in the V-Jump magazine. This story followed a V-Pet fanatic, Yagami Taichi, who was pulled into the digital world by Angemon in order to stop the virus Lord Demon, who was attempting to change the makeup of the world. Taichi's partner Digimon for this story ends up being Zero Maru instead of the franchise's face, but you'd still expect to see the big red dinosaur somewhere in the manga that lasted until 2003, right? Certainly with how this manga led to the creation of the cult classic anime, surely Tyrannomon would be in there, one might think. But he was cast aside and never makes an appearance in this title, though his virus counterpart, Dark Tyrannomon, does appear as a villain in the story. While Tyrannomon didn't get the spotlight that the franchise's mascot deserved in the manga, he did get some justice in the video game. Tyrannomon not only got to be an obtainable Digimon in the 1998 title Digital Monster version S, but was also featured on the box art. This appearance was much like his original debut in V-Pet, however, only being one of the various Digimon that you could obtain throughout the title through certain conditions. Tyrannomon couldn't seem to catch a break, even though the Digimon was one that was hand-picked to represent what the franchise had to offer, and the neglection would only worsen with the release of Digimon Adventure in 1999. As a lot of Digimon fans know, this anime is what really allowed the Digimon franchise to flourish not only in Japan, but also around the world. This series would put a lot of focus on the 8 main characters and their Digimon, with extra focus being cast onto Taichi Kamiya and his partner Digimon. Taichi was appointed the pseudo-leader of the Digidestined, with major Digivolution plot points typically initiating with him, and this caused them to be the face of the series. With the ever-growing popularity of the show, the executives decided that the face of the franchise needed to reflect this, and as Tyrannomon's only key role in the show being one of the villains, Edamon's henchman, it was time to close the door on the big red dinosaur to make way for a younger, more fresh image to be the face of the franchise. Agumon was in, and Tyrannomon was out. After this, things started to look really grim for Tyrannomon. Tyrannomon became one of the many Digimon to simply exist within the franchise. While they were included in a lot of media, they were simply there to exist. In the anime, their inclusions were brief, with some appearances only lasting a few frames, while in the games they were mostly among the cast of Digimon that you could simply obtain to fight alongside you, with the exception of the first Digimon world where he was one of the bosses in the title. After all of this, it seemed as though Tyrannomon was yet another Digimon destined to fade into obscurity, but all of that changed in an instant. 2017 marked the 20th anniversary for the Digimon series, and it did what you'd expect. You got new merch, announcements, and media, but it also brought back something that blew me away personally, and that was Tyrannomon. Now, I know he wasn't gone by any means, but it was so mind-blowing to see Tyrannomon on the logo and not Agumon. Ultimately, because the anniversary was for the whole series and not just for the anime, they ended up deciding that the first Digimon ever created was the best representation for the celebration. This inclusion in the logo would go on to cause what I like to call the Tyrannomon resurgence. In Digimon Adventure 2020, Tyrannomon received his biggest role in the anime thus far. In the episode The Villains of the Wastelands, Tyrannomon appears as the sworn brother of Gaussmon, who is the leader of the two gangs and wanted to take over a faucet and its water. Tyrannomon ends up fighting Taichi and Greymon, attempting to defeat them with his fireball attack, but as always, the Digidestin win the battle, and also made Tyrannomon promise to part ways with his brother after his defeat in exchange for the Digimon's life. While this was just a single episode of an anime, this was much more attention than Tyrannomon had previously gotten within the franchise, and this would only be the beginning of it. The following year, a live-action show would be created to help advertise the virtual bracelet digital monster, titled Digimon Project 2021. In the second episode, Digimon Identified Memory, Tyrannomon appeared as the field boss that the protagonist had to battle. But that's not all. Tyrannomon makes an appearance again in the 6th episode, Next Chapter Digivice V, as a partner to a tamer. All in all, Tyrannomon was a neglected Digimon that was so vital to the franchise. While being recognized as the first Digimon created in the series, others simply had more major roles to play in various media, which ultimately led to the obscurity of the Digimon, though not permanently. In recent years, Tyrannomon is resurfacing, trying to claim a more well-known place in the franchise through some more major roles, but is still uncertain whether or not this Digimon will be able to claim the fame that they so desperately deserve. I made this video because I honestly just wanted to talk about Tyrannomon because they're one of my favorite Digimon I really liked when I was younger. I don't often get to talk about Digimon to my friends, so this video was bound to be made. If you enjoyed my Tyrannomon ramblings, be sure to let me know by leaving a like on the video, subscribing, and leaving me a comment to read. And with that all being said and done, my name is Resin Unleashed, the resident who really wanted to talk about Tyrannomon and unleashed it out into the world, and I will catch you all next time.